That's as far as he can slide down without being much. Okay. Austin, why don't you open us up in prayer? Hey, Rachel. Okay, so we're talking about inside information. That's the Bible study that we've been doing. It's been really good. Inside information is a term for business, the stock world. And if you got inside information, you can make big money. And they act on that. Well, the Bible's filled with inside information that a lot of people just don't have, but we do. It talks about the future, and it's called prophecy. And also, God's telling us so we can act on it. The Bible's incredible about the future. And this was wrote like 3,500 years ago, 2,000 years ago was the latest books, and yet it talks about today and where we're going. So, in Isaiah 46, this is our springboard text. What happened here? Whoop, I guess I got to turn it on. Okay, so it's, I'm God. There's none other like me. And only I can tell you the future before it even happens, and everything I plan will come to pass. So we're going to review just real quick. We've been talking about prophecy. How it revolves around, prophecy is the future, okay? It tells about the future. How it revolves around Israel. And God designed Israel for his own nation to make himself known to the world through the nation of Israel. And they bear the testimony of God. So, Israel's misbehaved, we all know that. They even killed the Messiah. We'll get into that just a little bit. But God has a purpose. He doesn't give up on his purpose. There is a time where God went from dealing with Israel to the building of the church, the Gentiles, non-Israelites, okay? He began to work with them, and so, but his focus changed, but now it's shifting back again to Israel. So we're going to talk about, we've been talking about kind of the 7-year period of the last days, things that are going to happen, wars, famines, earthquakes, false prophets. We've been talking about that. And this is the beginning of birth pains. The beginning. Birth pains. You know that baby's coming as you have these birth pains. So we also talked a little bit about the abomination of desolation. I'll get a little more into that today. And then the gathering of the world armies to fight against Israel, okay? All this is going to take place. So let's talk about, this morning, the tribulation. As a springboard, maybe we can have Snow White. Why don't you read this for us? Okay, so this is talking about the nation of Israel and how they're going to be attacked. If we look, just going back a little bit, they're going to be attacked, but the Lord will defend Jerusalem. And the strongest in Jerusalem will be like David, King David, that killed Goliath. So then it goes on to say that they're kind of blinded. They didn't know Jesus was the Messiah. But on that day, he's going to pour out his Spirit in the last days and on the family of David. That's the people of God. And they'll look on him whom they have pierced. They'll look on Jesus, whom they pierced at the cross. Not only the nails, but in the, they had the Romans stab him in the side and the heart. And they're going to mourn for him. And they're going to understand that he really was the Messiah. So I want to first of all talk about false doctrine. There's people that believe crazy things, just crazy things. How do we get there? Well, there's a story. It's definitely not true, but it makes the point. It's a remote island. 4 blind men never heard about an elephant or ever encountered one, but now they do. And so they're blind, and so they're trying to describe. They find this elephant, and they're trying to describe the elephant by touching. So one grasps the trunk, and he concludes it's like a thick snake, and another touches the legs, and it's like, well, it's like a tall tree, and another one's touching the tail. Well, it's like kind of like a rope, and yet one's feeling the side. No, it's mostly like a wall. Well, in their blindness to the whole picture, they're describing and thinking what it is. So that's how false doctrine comes around, is they lack. People that lack the whole picture. They build on just a few scriptures. They find a few scriptures like, whoa, look what this means. It's like the end times is like a rope, or like a thick snake, or like a tree. No, they've got a small slice of understanding, and they want to build a case using their own human logic, which we got to be careful. So that's why we get false doctrine. And they're convinced, absolutely convinced, because they have this slice and they make their case. Okay, so first of all, we have to use all Scripture. You can't just take out one thing, because it might say another thing over here that contradicts this, at least your thought about that. So you put them all together and you get the overall picture. Doctrine is based, what we believe to be true is based on what the entire Bible says as a whole. Secondly, we have to understand God's general purpose. Because when you understand God's general purpose, it makes the smaller details make sense. They now make sense when you understand the general purpose. And then we have to throw out, and this is a hard one, our preconceived, I should say, ideas. We have to throw them out and just look at what the Bible says and leave it there. Just leave it there. So let's talk about just, first of all, the nature of the tribulation. But what do we mean by the tribulation? Sean, can you help us there? Okay, you didn't have to do my whole Bible study in 2 sentences. But that's exactly right. Exactly right. So he captured it all. So the nature of the tribulation, the last 7 years, the tribulation period, the trials, tribulation, the trials and difficulties. And so, but the thing that's interesting here is that when the Bible talks about the, we got a new member of the demolition derby there, but anyways, so the Jewish terminology that the Bible uses to describe the tribulation. Now, there's a reason why I'm going to go through this, okay? The Bible talks about Jacob's trouble. Who is Jacob? Well, Jacob's name was changed to what? Yes. Jacob was the father of Israel. He had 12 sons. They all were the tribes of Israel. And they became the people of Israel. But his name was Jacob, changed to Israel. But it reads in Jeremiah 30, verse 7. If I'm lucky, you want to read this? So it's talking about the tribulation, and there's no time in the world like the tribulations. Never happened. I mean, okay, Hitler's time was really difficult for God's people, Israel, but not like what's coming. What's coming is going to be even far worse. Never seen in the world, the tribulation period. And but he uses a term, Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble. So it uses Jewish terminology to describe the tribulation. In Luke chapter 1, can you read this for us, Selena? Go ahead. Stop. A horn of salvation. Those terms are Jewish. Okay, go ahead. So it's talking here about the horn of salvation, which is, of course, Jesus, the Messiah. Saves the Jewish people from their enemies and fulfills the covenant. Isaac had Jacob, and Jacob had the 12 tribes. Okay, so events prophesied in the Bible are directed to Israel. They're prophesied, but he's prophesied to the people of Israel. Like when we talk about wars, we read that last week. The last days, there's going to be, first thing he mentions is wars. There's going to be wars. Okay, well, it's not talking about American wars. It's talking about Israel's wars. When you read Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39, very famous chapters in the Bible for anybody that knows about the last days, and it's referring to, and it spells out, Russia and the Muslim nations attacking Israel in the last days. And so it says, the land to the uttermost north, they're going to come and make their attack, right? And it describes them, and it uses, and the Bible scholars know it talks about Russo, I think it referring to Russia. But you draw a line vertically, horizontally, straight up from Jerusalem, straight up, and it's going to intersect Moscow. Yeah, so it's the uttermost north. That's what it's talking about right there, and way up on top. So that's who's going to come down, and it says they're going to attack Israel, and it's going to be a big battle. But miraculously, God's people win the war. Miraculously, like it talked about, just one is going to be like David when he killed Goliath. Just one of them. So they're going to have this incredible victory against all these nations and Russia. So that's Ezekiel 38, 39. So, but the point I'm making here is not to talk about the wars, but to talk about how it's Israel that God's prophesying to, not necessarily America. Every time something happens in America, a little war kicks up and says, oh, is this the last days? This is the last days? No, we're not the ones. We're like a spin-off of Israel and the Bible, but we're not the ones it was prophesied about. It's talking about Israel, the rise of the Antichrist in Daniel chapter 9. You want to read this for us, John? Go for it. Just stop right there. Okay, so 7-year period, halfway through. Well, he arises somewhere in the first few years, okay, the tribulation. He's like the answer man. He solves all the problems. He makes peace with the nations. But halfway through, right at the 3.5-year mark, he puts an end to the sacrifices and offerings. Whose sacrifices? Whose offerings? Israel's. The ones they're making in the temple that he helped them build. Puts an end to it. Okay, go on, John. So, we talked last week about the abomination of desolation. This is what was prophesied, and we'll get maybe a little closer to this on this lesson. But there's this Antichrist. He doesn't want God. He wants nothing to do with Christ. He's Antichrist. Okay, he arises. Everybody loves him. He takes over the media in the world. Everybody seems to like him because he's got answers. He's bringing peace and he's doing this and he's doing that. But he really hates Jesus and God. He's Antichrist. Okay. Well, right at the 3.5-year mark, he's helped Israel build their temple, which they've always wanted to do, rebuild their temple. He helps them to build it. Right now, there's a Muslim dome there, exactly where their temple is supposed to be built. But somehow, he works it out to where they can build their temple there. So I don't know in a war if the dome is blowing up. I don't know. Maybe that's the start of the war. But anyways, he helps Israel to rebuild this. He's bringing peace. Halfway through, he walks in, halfway through the 7-year tribulation, he walks into the temple and he puts an image of himself in there and he wants to be worshiped as God. The devil's always wanted to be worshiped as God. That's what made him fall from heaven. I'm going to rise higher than God. That's why he was kicked out, his pride. He's always wanted to be worshiped. He had a good place in heaven. He was like one of the 3 top angels, archangels. He got thrown out because of his pride. And he became the devil. Everything that he's an adversary of God. So, this is like the devil incarnate now, this Antichrist. He wants to be worshiped too. So he stops all the sacrifices, all the offerings. No, you're going to worship me. Well, that's where Israel's eyes are opened. Because one thing they know, you don't ever worship idols. And so hell has already broken loose, but now all hell breaks loose on the earth. So this is talking about Israel. The prophecies are about Israel. It talks about the 144,000 witnesses. These are people that they're Israelis. They're from the tribes of Israel. They're all Israelis. And they get saved. And not just saved, they are radically saved. 144,000. And they begin to evangelize the world. Let's go and read this. Kathy, you want to help us? From the tribes of Israel. Again, all this has to do with Israel. The tribulation at the last days. And so the Antichrist, he makes the treaty. They rebuild the temple. He works out a deal. He lets them do that. But then he breaks the treaty when he walks in and wants to set up an image of himself. And so maybe, Rachel, you want to help us with this one? This is the Antichrist. He exalts himself, defies everything that people call God. He just defies it. Every object of worship. Do you know how long they've been trying? Since I've been saved, probably 10 years later, they start taking Christ out of Christmas. They don't want you to even say Merry Christmas anymore. It's Happy Holidays. Don't offend anybody. No, the truth is they're trying to shut down anything that has to do with Christ, Jesus. And because he hates anything that has to do with God. So, he breaks the treaty. The temple is defiled and all hell breaks loose. Let's go and read this just as a reminder. Austin, while you're there, go ahead. Okay, so the desecration of the holy place, the temple, the desecration, okay? Readers, pay attention. Go ahead. So when that guy, the Antichrist, steps into the temple, Israel's eyes are open. This guy is not a good man. We thought he was, but he's not. Their eyes are open to, oh my God, we killed the Messiah. It all comes clear to them. And all hell breaks loose. And so it doesn't mean necessarily that, take off to the hills and if you're on the roof, don't go down. Just stay there. Don't go back to your house and pack. No, it's not actually saying that. Don't even get a coat. Get away. It's just saying it's gonna be intense. Really hard. For who? God's people. That's what it's talking about. God's people. Sometimes we think it's just America. Well, yeah, there's gonna be some things happen here, but what we're really watching for is Israel. These things were prophesied in Israel. And like I said, never has there been trouble like this ever since the world began. And never will be again, because this is the last of it. Then, from there, these are inside secrets that people don't even realize. But God's showing us. And then there's this final battle like we talked about involving all the nations. All the nations. Maybe even America. You get the right man out of office and put an evil man in office that turns against Israel, and we know that there's some people that just flat out do not like Israel. And he could so easily just send troops against Israel, who's not flowing with what is happening in the earth. They're going their own way. They're stuck on this Jesus thing, and it's just messing everything up. We want an inclusive world. We want to all pull together. We want to all just get rid of this God stuff. Just get rid of it. We want to do what we want to do, right? And so they're trying to shut down God. And, of course, he wants to mess up your life. God. Really? No. You're messing up your life. You and I, we all messed up our lives, didn't we? We still got scars from that. But we're talking about a battle involving all the nations, could be America as well. But a specific location. Many movies about this. Where would that location be, Luke? Final battle. You know it. Yes. Armageddon. Let's read it. Go ahead and read Luke 16. Or Luke, read Revelation 16. Okay.
Then the sixth angel poured out his bowl in the great Euphrates River, and it dried up so that the kings from the east could march their armies toward the west without hindrance.
Stop. Okay, right there in another place, the kings of the east, right? 200 million man army. 200 million man army. Kings of the east. Who would that be? Would that, the Middle East? Could it be all the Muslims? Well, they're going to be involved for sure. It names them. But it could also be China, who actually boasts today that they have an army of 200 million men. That's what they say. Oh, anyways, go on. Go ahead and read.
And I saw three evil spirits that looked like frogs leap from the mouths of the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet,
Okay, so this is a man that's seeing the future, and it's symbolic about this frog leaping from the mouth of the dragon. Okay, go ahead. Keep reading.
They are demonic spirits who work miracles and go out to all the rulers of the world to gather them for battle against the Lord on that great judgment day of God the Almighty.
Okay, so a great battle against God's people. Go ahead.
Look, I will come as unexpectedly as a thief. Blessed are all who are watching for me, who keep their clothing ready so they will not have to walk around naked and ashamed. And the demonic spirits gathered all the rulers and their armies to a place of the Hebrews named Armageddon.
Okay, so this is the place of the armies gather, Armageddon. And there's other thoughts in there. You might be reading this. So what do you mean keep your clothes ready? Does that mean we have like a carry-on? And everything packed away in there? No. Again, this was wrote to the people of Israel, and they knew exactly what that meant. The bride had to be ready for when the bridegroom came. Okay, that's just the way the Jewish people operated. Well, it didn't mean she had to walk around every day and to sleep in her bridal gown. No, it just means she had to have things prepared. That's what it's talking about here. You just have to be prepared to meet God that's coming in as a thief in the night. And why he's saying that is he's not telling us when he's coming. He's coming as a thief. He's coming, but like a thief. A thief doesn't announce, I'm coming in. I'm coming in. He doesn't say that. He just comes in and steals. So that's the way that Jesus is coming back, and it's all going to happen. It's going to hit us. It's like, whoa, did that just happen? Yeah, it did. It's a thief in the night. So we're not going to, nobody's going to know, oh, it's now, it's now, it's now. No, they don't know. No one will know. We won't know, but he's going to come as a thief. So the demonic spirits gathering all the rulers and their armies. There's a demon power at work to be against Israel, even today. How is it that Hamas can go in, rape, murder, 1,500? And yet all of a sudden, Israel's the bad guy. The protest and the colleges are all. What? What? How did that happen? Because there's a demonic spirit against anything that's God's. And there's these demon spirits at work against God's people, to twist the minds of people against them. And we talked about that, all the nonsense that's coming over the media, the absolute lies. That was one of our first lessons. You got to go back and watch it. It's crazy how they've so labeled Israel. No, they're not innocent, but they're not what the media has shown them to be. Okay? So, demon spirits. I put that in the wrong place. I want to move that. Then there's the final return of Christ. Okay, let's read Zechariah 14. Noemi, you want to read this for us? Yeah, I think you're Noemi, right? Oh, you know what? Okay, sorry. Adam's going to be here this morning. He's the guy that's down in Florida. His wife's name is, now I've gotten confused. Noemi. No, you're Noemi. No. Oh, Naomi. Okay, see how I get confused? Okay, so you're Naomi. She's Noemi. Okay, all right. Okay, so anyways, Naomi, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Watch for the day of the Lord is coming when your possessions will be plundered right in front of you. I will gather all the nations to fight against Jerusalem. The city will be taken, the houses looted, and the woman raped. Half the population will be taken into captivity, and the rest will be left among the ruins of the city.
Wait a minute. They're attacked by the nations of the uttermost north and the kings of the east, and the Euphrates rivers is dried up so they can march across it. And you know what I've always heard? Well, when they launch the missiles, God's going to supernaturally take those missiles, turn them back on the enemy. And we thought that the battle takes place and there's victory, just victory. It's an unbelievable victory, like I said. Okay, but what's happening here? Somehow they make their way into Jerusalem. And did we just read? The city will be taken, the houses looted, the women raped, half the population taken away, and the rest will be left among ruins of the city. What's happening here? Well, this is not the last battle and Jesus coming back. This is prior to that, all in the tribulation period, all after the 3.5-year mark, but it's not like this, just this incredible victory. Now, eventually, Jesus will step on Mount Olives, and there's going to be, he's riding back, and it's all that we've heard about the Battle of Armageddon. Somehow, it just culminates. It's not like just they make an attack, and then the next day on the news, Israel wins. It would be like that. It's going to get crazy for the people of God in Israel. So how about we go ahead and continue reading here? Who is reading? Oh, okay, go ahead. Naomi, go ahead.
The Lord will go out to fight against those nations, as he has fought in the times past. On that day his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives east of Jerusalem, and the Mount of Olives will split apart, making a wide valley running from east to west. Half the mountain will move towards the north and half towards the south. The Lord my God will come, and all his holy ones with him.
Okay, so this is the continuation of just what we read prior. So they get in and they completely destroy Jerusalem. Completely destroy. Women are raped. It's crazy. But the battle's not over. Jesus will come. Okay? We don't know how long this goes on. Well, it says in that day, but it doesn't mean that particular day. Talking about that section of time at that moment when it says that day. Okay? Or that hour. It's close. Very, very close. Okay, so any questions at this point? Interesting, huh? Yeah. Okay, well, Jerusalem, or Israel, what they had before the temple was destroyed. Remember, the temple was there when Jesus was alive. But then they crucified Jesus, or they had the Romans do it, but they egged it on. Well, Jesus told them, said, this place is, because they're all bragging about, look at the temple, isn't it crazy, cool, Jesus? Jesus said, in a short while, not one stone is going to be left on another. He told them that. Well, just a few years after Jesus died, about 40 years later, it was 70 AD, Rome came in and destroyed the city. They completely destroyed the temple. Gone. It's not there today. Okay, so what happens is the Antichrist tries to bring Israel in, and so he helps them to rebuild the temple. But back then, the temple is where they made the sacrifice, the sheep. The lamb, once a year they took a lamb and they, just for the sins of the people, it was, well, that's why they call Jesus the Lamb of God. There doesn't need to be a sacrifice anymore. He was sacrificed for us. So, but that's what they did. They don't believe in Jesus, so that's what they did. Well, they're going to start doing that again after they have the temple. Yeah, and they're going to make their offerings, and they're going to make, all kinds of, just what they did in the old days before it was destroyed. So they're going to be doing that after they build the temple, but only for a short while, because that's when the Antichrist is going to come in and say, you're not sacrificing anymore. You're going to worship me, not your God that you're sacrificing sheep to. Go ahead.
That just
They will. Yeah, Jerusalem. Yes. Yep, at the tail end of it. Yep, he wraps it up. Okay? John? No, no, nope. There's no place to sacrifice. They can't. They have to have the temple. Yeah. They had their prayers, but sacrifice has been done away with a long time. So they're really, really wanting to rebuild the temple and reinstitute all that. Remember, they don't believe in Jesus. Yeah, so they feel the need to do that. Okay? Questions? Good questions. This is interesting, isn't it? Crazy interesting. Especially when you see that this was wrote at the latest 2,000 years ago. That it spells out today. All right, so the purpose of the tribulation, where are we at here? Oh, gosh. All right. So what's going on is not meant for the church. A lot of people today believe of the tribulations for the purifying of the church for heaven. Or it's to prepare the church to meet God. It has nothing to do with the church. All these prophecies are in regards to Israel. And the purpose is, like Sean already said, the purpose of the tribulation, the 7-year period, is the judgment on sin. Israel, their rejection of the Messiah and the killing of the Messiah, Jesus. It's all judgment. So let's go ahead and read, if we can. Taylor, you want to read that for us?
God overlooked people's ignorance about these things in earlier times, but now he commands everyone everywhere to repent of their sins and turn to him. For he has a set day for judging the world with justice by the man he has appointed. And he proved to everyone who this is by raising him from the dead.
Okay, so I think that clock is not right. What time we got? Okay, so we gotta. Oh, it is right. You changed it. Oh, good. Okay, so it is right. Yeah, we want to wrap this up. So you know what? We'll come back to that next week. It gets really good. Just the purpose of the whole tribulation. But right here it says that people can turn from their sins. So this is the way in so many words. When you're trying to keep your kid out of the road, you know he's going to get hit by a car if he goes on the road. So what do? Well, you know, it's like, Johnny, come back to the curb. Daddy loves you. Daddy loves you. Just come back to the curb. No, I want to play here. No, Daddy loves you. I don't want you to get hurt. Please. So it's the love of God that draws us back out of what hurts us. It's going to hurt us. He's drawing us back. But every good father, if you really love your child, is, baby, please come back. Daddy loves you. Now, I want to stay on and play. Good father do, you take off your belt. You get your butt over here. You're going to go grab by that. Whack. You're not going in the street. Whack. Right? Why? Because you love them. You don't want them to get hurt and smashed. So that's what the tribulation is. God has loved the world. He's proven his love. He's helped us without even realizing he's helping you. But they keep rejecting. Finally, God says, okay, we'll do it the hard way. And so the tribulations are the spanking of the world, the entire world, so that they'll repent and turn to God. Okay, we'll pick it up.